Hello everyone. So I made my last video about cleaning my rabbit's section of the hutch and explained a lot in the process as far as general care for her and what I put in the cage, what I make sure not to put in the cage, all of those different types of things. So a lot of the basic rabbit care is in the other video. I did not finish cleaning it entirely, and obviously did not put the cage back together in the last video because frankly I did not realize how long it was going to take to do that part. But also at the end I always vacuum, so at the end of taking everything out of the cage, scooping all of that, my next step is to vacuum all of the remaining dust or food pellets, whatever, that's at the bottom. You might say that that sounds gross, but if you did watch the last video, I put puppy pads at the bottom of the cage, so the cage is lined with puppy pads, so that liner prevents stuff from really getting to the bottom, to the plastic floor of the cage. So that means when I clean it all out, all I have to do is pick up the corners of the puppy pads. I say this, it obviously makes a little more of a mess than what I'm explaining, but you pick up the corners and you can pull it out and dump it straight in the trash can, and there's not a bunch of gross stuff caked to the bottom. So you might spill a bunch of bedding or whatever when you're trying to take that out, but you're not going to have just straight up pea and crushed food on the bottom. Whatever you spill is going to be really the only stuff that makes it to the floor of the cage. So that helps a lot. So I have already started doing this because like I said, I realized how long it would take to do this. So I started putting together her cage again. So what I've done is I've put these puppy pads lining the bottom, lining the floor, and now I'm working on putting her litter in. So her being completely litter box trained is really nice. She only uses the bathroom in one corner of the cage. So anyway, I have started with the litter and I've done the far corner. I say far being far away from her bed, far away from where she sleeps. So I'm going to do that. I have two different brands that I'm going to use in case you're curious. So this one I'm almost out of, so I'm going to finish it off and finish off this bag, and then the rest of the cage I'm going to start a new bag, which is a different brand. So this one is So Fresh. It has a giant rabbit on the front of it, so very clear that that is what it is intended to be used for. Other than that, the other brand is all living things. You will see that when I take it out. Alrighty. Should have located all my things before I started recording, but here we are. I don't know where my scoop is now. So, oh, dumb, it's in here. So, I'm just going to start lining with the litter. Right now, we being my husband and I, are kind of doing like a trial where we are doing just litter, not the litter and the bedding combination. And we're going to see how they like it. And if it prevents odor as well as having the combination. So the thought is, it seems like litter does a better job of odor control, primarily because if you think about litter, it's made to take, you know, all of the wet, all of the gross from their peeing and everything, and dry it up very quickly. So then if you think about what you don't like about small pet cages, the wet smell, the wet smell of the poop and the pee, that's really what gets you. So with this, soaking it up and drying it quickly, it removes that, and then you also just have odor control in the litter itself. So a couple aspects: it's not sitting there wet, it's not sitting there wet, and also it's still giving them that layer of protection. Yes, I have the puppy pads, but it's still giving that extra layer, so they're not just on the bare floor of the cage. So, we are finishing off this one. I'm going to spread that out. So I said that we're kind of trialing the litter only, not litter and bedding. The reason I have my concerns about this is the burrowing. They like to be able to dig, they like to be able to burrow in the bedding, so I want to make sure that they're happy still when they have just a litter. Now, it's not a problem necessarily to just have the litter, but it is a little bit unconventional. So, we'll see. Now, here's the second kind that I sometimes use. So these are paper-based litter and bedding. So you can use where it says litter and bedding. That's kind of your first clue, but you can use it for both. And the thing about this litter, I'm going to show some really quick. So it's like giant pellets. So if you think about cat litter, not all cat litter, but a lot of cat litter is the smaller pellets or the smaller pieces. You do not want to do that for your small animals because they're more likely to ingest them, to think it's food pellets, to play with it, whatever. So you do not want them eating their litter. In addition to that, the cat litter can tend to be more dusty at times. And this is designed specifically for small animals, so you're not going to have that issue. Alright. I think I might just dump this in a second, because that might be faster. Then you guys don't have to watch this entire process. I'm going to do that for you. Alright. There we go. Alright. Now, I must put a disclaimer in here. I'm not a veterinarian. So, I have pet rabbits, I have pet guinea pigs, I've had other small pets like rats or hedgehogs. I've had all of them. So, I've done a lot of research and I have a lot of experience taking care of them. But I am not a veterinarian. I am not a professional with a degree. So, do not take my word as gospel. I don't think that's the right phrase, but that's what's coming to my mind right now. So please continue to do research. I mean, do not assume that I know everything. I have a lot of tips and tricks, but make sure to do research on your own as well. So that's my little small soapbox for today. Alright. So, we've got her litter. Got her litter. I'm going to put her food bowl back in. It's already got pellets in it. This might look weird to you. These types of food bowls you're used to seeing with a little metal grate that goes here so that you can put like hay and stuff in the back, and the hay stays sticking up, and then I would put pellets in the bottom. But this lovely Thalia Grace likes to rip that out and throw it, and then take all of the hay out at one time and spread it across the entire cage, and then she doesn't want to eat it because she's been stepping on it. So, we use a bowl for hay, and we use this still for the pellets. It's the ceramic that's so heavy that she won't knock it over, so that's good. So I'm going to put that back in here. I've left the water bottle. I don't know if I already mentioned this. Our neighbors, huh? The water bottle is there. I didn't take it out when I cleaned the cage because it wasn't in the way and I wasn't going to get it all gross. So it stayed there. It makes my life easier. Remy is very interested in everything I'm doing because she's always very interested in the rabbit. So I already gave treats for the day, so I'm not going to put a bunch of treats in here right now. She's had plenty. I have... Her favorite is dried strawberries, so that's what I gave her this morning. And she's also already destroyed all of her toys that I've bought her, so I'm going to take a trip today or tomorrow and buy her all new toys to put in the cage as well, so it's not normally this empty. She has a little hideaway house that I have on a shelf in the back. I have shifted away from using that because with this hutch, it's got like a little door right here and a wall, and when this closes, this is the hard wood. It's not see-through like the rest. So she has this like private hideaway that she can use, and that's perfectly great. So now she's ready. She's just out of the screen, just out of the shot, I guess, from where you guys are. So Miss Thalia is tired of being out of her cage. She just wants to go hide by herself. She's done with dealing with the dogs and dealing with me. She's ready. So, all right, Miss Thalia, please. It's okay. It's okay. So, now she has to go check everything out. All these new smells, all this new stuff going on. So you can see she's going through the door, and now she's hiding in her little home. Now she's coming out and smelling everything again. So she's going to do that for a while until she figures out what's going on and decides how she feels about all the new stuff. So overall, between the two videos, that sums up how I go about cleaning the cage, the type of cleaner I would use to not use harsh chemicals. So overall supplies, we've got a food bowl, and then we have a separate food bowl when we put in vegetables and when we put in the hay, so total of 3. So she's got 3 food bowls, just one right now, the water bottle, the puppy pads for the cage liner, the litter. We will typically also have a paper-based bedding, which is good for odor control. And what else did I say? The cleaning stuff. I run a vacuum also before I do the spray, and then I think that's pretty much it. So toys and treats would be the only other thing, and then the food itself. So I don't think I'm forgetting anything. And then of course I keep random medicines for her, so I have eye drops in case she starts having any of those issues, and I have all of my grooming tools as well, so brushes, combs, all that type of stuff. Here's a couple of them right here that I use. This has a couple of different thicknesses. It's hard to tell in the thing, but these are a lot more fine and a lot closer together, which is great for those rabbits because they have to be groomed all the time. This one I don't love as much, but it's still okay. And then we will move my vacuum for a second. Just to show an example, I did a more hardcore grooming yesterday. Usually I will do it in small doses every couple days, but she was being taken care of while I was out of town, and she did not get groomed during that time. So I had to spend a much longer time grooming her. We have basically an entire other rabbit's worth of hair that I was throwing in the bin as I was doing it. So that's perfectly normal. They shed a lot. So, alright, if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments or message me, whatever. So feel free to do any of that, and I will answer them as best I can. I will at least answer them to the best of my ability, and then if it's something that is beyond my expertise, which is limited to basic care, I will direct you to a vet or to someone else who is an actual licensed, has a degree, knowledgeable person. And that's pretty much it. So I'll do future videos with the other babies. This was Thalia Grace, my lion's head rabbit, and in the future we will do the 2 guinea pigs that I have, and then the other rabbit I have, which is a different breed. That's all for now. So feel free to subscribe to this, to follow me on TikTok or Snapchat, any of those. That's pretty much it. So, thank you guys. My username is Karen Marie, 2 N's, 2 E's. Feel free to subscribe.